Goswami. Sri Rupa Goswami will now mention these very important items for our benefit. The purport of this statement is that Sri Rupa Goswami proposed to mention only basic principles, not details. For example, the basic principle is that one has to accept a spiritual master. Exactly how one follows the instruction of the spiritual master is considered a detail. For example, if one is following the instruction of his spiritual master and that instruction is different from the instructions of another spiritual master, this is called detailed information. But the basic principle of acceptance of spiritual master is good everywhere. Although the details may be different, Rupa Goswami does not wish to enter into details here, but wants to place before us only the principles. So anybody would like to read this, the second paragraph? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, and Pranam always to Srila Prabhupada. So we have to read from he mentions?
Yes, correct.
Okay, Prabhuji. Purport given by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He mentions the basic principles as follows. 1. Accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of a bona fide spiritual master. 2. Becoming initiated by the spiritual master and learning how to discharge devotional service from him. 3. Obeying the orders of spiritual master with faith and devotion. 4. Following in the footsteps of great acharyas, teachers under the direction of the spiritual master. 5. Inquiring from the spiritual master how to advance in Krishna consciousness. 6. Being prepared to give up anything material for the satisfaction of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. This means that when we are engaged in the devotional service of Krishna, we must be prepared to give up something that we may not like to give up. And also we have to accept something that we may not like to accept. 7. Residing at a sacred place of pilgrimage like Dwarka, Vrindavan. 8. Accepting only what is necessary or dealing with the material world only as far as necessary. 9. Only as far as necessary. 9. Observing the fasting day on Ekadashi. And 10. Worshipping sacred trees like the banyan tree. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So so then we'll go to the the PowerPoint presentation, which gives the more details of this. Okay, so this is what is exactly we just read. So Rupa Goswami adopted this from the Haribhakti Vilas, and in that Haribhakti Vilas, which was very elaborately mentioned, that what are the rules and regulations or the basic principles of how to execute the loving devotion. As it's mentioned that. So we'll be focused on few of the slides. See, first is accepting the shelter of lotus feet of a bona fide spiritual master. So then there will be a question why it is very important, prominent, because anybody can do any devotional service thereon. No, it's not. Because we don't know. There are certain ways that how we can really connect to that, the spiritual potency. So because of in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also mentioned to Arjuna that chapter 4, 34th verse, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena seveya upadeshadye jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Tadvidi pranipatena, one should approach a spiritual master. So Krishna himself declaring this, that one should approach a spiritual master in order to attain the truth. Because of the transcendental science is not like material science that we can go anywhere and get it. This needs to be here. That's why it's called Shruti. Initially Vedas are known as Shruti. Shruti means from here, from the, there are two ways of acquiring the knowledge. One is descending process and another is called ascending process. Arohana and Avarohana. So the material mundane knowledge is arohana. That means, okay, we go to the school, we experience it, or we do some experiment, and then we come to the conclusion, oh, this is like that. But in the Veda, in the scriptures, from the Supreme Lord Himself, and which is reveals that no, that is not the right way of understanding the principles of tattva or the transcendental knowledge. So one can receive this knowledge from the higher authority, from the higher authority of the top authorities, and this comes from the disciplic succession. That, as we know, that initially in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says that evam parambara praptam imam rajarshiyo vidim takalena mahima yogo nashta parantapaha. Imam, evam parambara praptam. This transcendental knowledge is come down. Originally, I instructed this knowledge to Sun God Vivaswan. Vivaswan instructed to Manu. Manu instructed to Ikshagu. But in due course of time, this knowledge is, destroyed, lost. So in due course of time. So then I am here again to impart this knowledge to Arjuna. So this is the system. This was the Vedic system originally established, that one should hear from the higher authority, supreme authority. So Srila Prabhupada gives a very beautiful example that when we hear from the authority, that like a child, right? The right and the supreme authority of to know that who is the father of the child, who is the right authority, supreme authority is the mother, only. That because of mother can only say that who is the father of that child. So like that, the transcendental science is not that which we say or see in this world, the mundane. We can go into the market, shop or buy something like that. So we should hear from the self-realized souls. Why? Because of self-realized soul, they have seen the truth. Truth means the satya. We say many times in this world, we hear this, oh, satyam, satyam. So satyam, satyam, param satyam. So this knowledge, this transcendental knowledge is the param satyam, right? Satyam param dhimahi. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna, Srila Vyasadeva offering this praise to, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadhyasa aksya yadaha yadara chatves abhityaswarat tene brahma hridaya adikave muhyandiya suryaha tero vachi vinimaya sargo namusha. Sveda Svena Nirastukugham Satyam Param Dhimahi. Satyam Param Dhimahi. And what is that Satya? Param, that Supreme Lord, Dhimahi. And that absolute knowledge, absolute truth. So this transcendental truth, only who can see those who are in that path of transcendence. So those who are in the devotional path, those who are devotees of the Lord can impart this transcendental knowledge. That's why Krishna is revealing that one should approach a spiritual master because they have seen the truth. So it's very, very important. So that's why one should accept a spiritual master at the lotus feet of the bona fide spiritual master. Then we saw that we just read that in the paragraph, all the other steps of it. And there are 10 steps Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned, an adopter from the Haribhakti Vilas. Then accepting Disha and learning how to discharge devotional service from the spiritual master. Then obeying the orders of spiritual master with faith and devotion, following in the footsteps of great acharyas, teachers under the direction of the spiritual master. So these are very, very important steps, dear devotees, in order to quickly achieve that the goal of our life. Then inquiry from, as Krishna says that, tadvirdi pranipadena prashnena, inquire from that, from the absolute truth from the spiritual master. And then discharge the very humble service, menial service to the spiritual master. Tadvidi pranapa pariprasnena seva. One should execute loving devotional service unto the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Being prepared to give up anything material for the satisfaction of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. This means that when we are engaged in the devotional service of Krishna, we must be prepared to give up something that we may not like to give up. And also we have to accept something that we may not like to accept. So this way, Rupa Goswami is revealing this wonderful details of that, how one can execute devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada mentioned that in the next paragraph. These 10 items are preliminary necessities for beginning the discharge of devotional service and regulative principles. Always remember this. Regulative principles means when one who comes to the stage of sadhana, right? Practices and principles. So these 10 items are preliminary necessities. So necessities, these are basic principles, right? So in the beginning of a neophyte devotee observes the above mentioned 10 principles, surely he will quickly make good advancement in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so we'll go to the next page. Then in the, Haribhakti Vilas also mentioned that in a very beautiful points like that. It is by the mercy of the Lord Krishna Deva that one attains the association of the devotees. So this is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Sanatana Goswami is mentioning. It is by the mercy of Lord Krishna that one attains the association of the devotees, right? Always by the mercy of the Lord, one gets the devotees. By the mercy of the devotees, one attains Krishna. Devotional service is more glorious than liberation. So we saw that in the previous chapters. Devotional service surpasses all liberation. The word bhajet here means one should take shelter. Bhaje means one to take shelter of the devotee, spiritual master, and the Supreme Lord. And then when we execute that and take shelter and execute that, then that is called, the seva, or called bhajana or bhaja, you know. So here someone may ask, how can ordinary people who are attached to material sense happiness desire to attain devotional service? So Sanatana Goswami mentioned that to this I reply, desiring to escape the ocean of material sufferings, one will desire to attain devotional service. Always remember this. This is the only way that one can, get out of this material misery, sufferings, right? And thus one will take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. So this is the easiest way. So sometimes we know that, how Lord, many people ask this question, how Lord is manifesting in this world, right? We know that in the last Sunday we were giving this. Lord manifest in the form of Bhagavad Gita. There is a book, Lord manifest in the form of a Bhagavad Gita. Lord manifest, you want to, come to this world in a wooden form. So Lord comes as the Jagannath, Lord Jagannath. So like that, Lord wanted to come as in this world as, a water. So it's a form of Ganges or the form of Yamuna, Lord manifests. So like that, Lord wanted to come in the form of a Vigraha. So Lord manifests in the form of Archa Vigraha. Lord manifests to come as sacred text. Lord comes as in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So like that, Lord can manifest in so many ways. So like that, when Lord manifests in the form of a person or his representative, so Lord manifests and he manifests as a representative of the Lord as spiritual master. So always remember this. The spiritual master is a representative of a supreme personality of God. So then, in order to come out of this, so Lord also manifests in the form of a spiritual master or representative. That's the easiest way that one can approach a bona fide spiritual master, then can easily get out. So this way, he can get out of this material suffering. A person who cannot understand that material life means continued material suffering is not intelligent. He is like an animal. Srila Sanatana Goswami used a very strong word. He's like an animal. It may be that such a person is like a hunter or other great sinner, and that is why he has lost his intelligence. Okay, so it's very, very powerful statement that which comes out of from this beautiful book. So then we can see that in Haribhakti Vilasa. So then Supreme Lord also confirms that in the form of Dattatreya. We know that Dattatreya also an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. There are 22 incarnations which is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam second canto. That is the first canto that is mentioned that the specific functions of the incarnations of the Supreme Lord. So it's mentioned that Dattatreya is also an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Dattatreya is the combination of Lord Shiva and both Lord Vishnu. So then Dattatreya mentioning in the Srimad Bhagavatam like this. After many, many births and deaths, one achieves the rare human form of life, which although temporary, affords one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection. Thus, a sober human being should immediately endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, not fall down into the cycle of repeated birth and death. After all, sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is only possible for a human being. Always not remember this point, dear devotees. Krishna consciousness is only available and possible in a human form of life. Always remember that. That's why in many, many thousand births after one achieves this rare human form of life. Manushyanaam sahasreshu kaschit adadisiddhaye adati api siddhanam kaschit mamedi tatpadaha. Manushyanaam sahasreshu, millions of people. One, knows, one understand me. Then out of one who knows, hardly one realize me, as Krishna's Bahunam Janmanamande Jnanavan Mahaprabhati. Bahuna, after thousands of life after that, one gets this human form of life. It's very rare that don't think that human form of life easily available, and don't think that if we just pass this body and this human form of life is guaranteed. But for the devotees, it's guaranteed. As Krishna says that, Neha Vikramana Sosti Pratyavayo na Vidyade Swalpam Abhyasya Dharmasya Trayado Mahado Bhayan. Krishna says to Arjuna in the second chapter, 40th verse, Swalpam Abhyasya Dharmasya Trayado Mahado. Even if little bit we practice in this lifetime, human form of life, then Trayado Mahado Bhayan, we all can free from the greatest danger. And it's mentioned that that greatest danger, Krishna was mentioning that one who is not, getting a human form of life in his next lifetime. That's the greatest danger. If we miss this human form of life, then we never know that when we are going to get back this human form of life. So it's very, very important that we value this human form of life, not to waste, right? It's like Govinda Das says that, Bhaja Hure Mana Govinda Nandana Abhay Charanara Vindare Durlabha Manava Janama Satsanga Bhajau He Bhara Sindure Bhaja Hure Mana Srinanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare Durlabhamanava Janama Satsange Durlabhamanava Janama. This Janma, this human form of birth is very rare. Durlabhamanava. Bhajavo Haribhada Nidire. Oh soul, all human being, please worship the lotus feet of Abhay Charanara Vindare, that lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, Abhay Charanara, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So it's very important that we understand this fact, dear devotees. And then let's go to the next verse. The Supreme Personality of Godhead himself declares, the human body which can award all benefit in life is automatically obtained by the laws of nature, although it is a very rare achievement. This human body can compare to a perfectly constructed boat having the spiritual master as the captain and the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a favorable winds impelling it on its course. So is considered as Supreme Lord himself saying to the Uddhava, this is from the Uddhava Gita, 11th canto, 20th chapter. So Krishna is revealing to Uddhava that only that we can cross over this material ocean or this Bhava Sagara, which is ocean. We cannot compare that, what this material ocean is. We cannot even imagine that. Da Brahma Bhuvanir Lokir Punaravartino Arjuna Mamupeti to Kaunteya Punar Janmana Vidyate. Brahma Bhuvanir Lokir, Krishna is telling to Arjuna. From the topmost planetary system to the Satyaloka, Brahma Loka, to the lowest planetary system, Patala, Punaravartino Arjuna, in various forms of life. Don't think that only this human form of life is just a mad. No, there are so many millions of species of life out there. We don't know what each species is going on. We know that now it's a winter. Tree is also a species of life, and it shed all the leaves now, and then it's now shed itself that how to save themselves from the severe cold. And the animals out there, they're scrolling and they're all trying to find a place where they can rescue themselves from the severe cold and the winter and the weather. Think about that. So this is just that we can see through our eyes then how all the other living entities are suffering in this world. So when we compare, okay, oh, I'm suffering so much, but think about other living entities, that how much they are suffering in this world. So this is the only way that human body is a boat, can be compared to a perfectly constructed boat. So this human body that we have is actually a boat that which Lord created. And who is the captain of that boat? The spiritual master. So spiritual master can guide us. Spiritual master knows the direction. Spiritual master knows the destination. Spiritual master can take us and allow us to get to board on the boat. If spiritual master doesn't allow and give us that opportunity and chance to board on the boat, we lost. We cannot cross over because of that there are not so many boats out there. If you go to a ghat, if you go to a the shore of a river, there are only certain guards are there. So in that certain guards, there may be one boat and one boatman. So there may be thousands of people and maybe hundreds of thousands of people. But we may not know that whether we will get a chance to get into that boat. But it is the mercy of that boatman. It is the mercy of that spiritual master that we get an opportunity to cross this ocean. So then, by the mercy of spiritual master, he's a captain. So he takes us, he allows us to get into the boat. Then what happens? That spiritual master row the boat to the destination. He knows the direction. He knows that how to row in the water. He knows that how to overcome the severe weather conditions. There may be a thunderstorm. There may be weather. There may be a current, strong current. There may be flood. But the spiritual master can take us and to cross over this ocean. Actually, Supreme Lord says to Uddhava in this paragraph that one should take shelter of the spiritual master. Spiritual master is the captain of the boat. He can cruise, he can take us and cruise over this material ocean. And like Krishna is saying that as the captain and the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as favorable winds impelling on its course. Considering, as we know that sometimes when we row the boat, sometimes the wind takes to the direction, so then we change the that mat of the boat, then according to that direction of the wind the boat moves as well. So similarly, the instructions of the Supreme Lord and instructions of spiritual master then take us to cross over the other side of the river. So like that, considering all these advantages, a human being who does not utilize his human life to cross the ocean of material existence must be considered the killer of his own soul. This is also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, killer of the soul, right? That Brahma Hatya, and which one kills himself, and if does not understand, and then does not take shelter, does not do anything, and then just be in this material ocean, and he is the killer of the self, and we saw that in the previous classes. So then we come to that beautiful passages of Supreme Lord says, and this word spoken by Lord Krishna, who is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, as described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So word Adhyam here means the root of all auspicious results. Human life is attained after many pious deeds. Always remember this, even human form, that lots of Sugrudi, or the pious deeds, that one gets this human form of life. Without many millions of struggles, it is not possible to attain human birth. Still, it seems to come of its own accord. So then, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami mentioning one should take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Then it gives that why. And it's Sri Prabhupada, the great master of yoga, explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is also 11th canto, 3rd chapter, 21st verse. This Sri Prabhupada says, therefore, any person who seriously desires real happiness must seek a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. That's why Diksha will ask, then we come to that point. The qualification of the bona fide guru is that he has realized the conclusions of the scriptures by deliberation and is able to convince others of these conclusions. Such great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead, leaving aside all material considerations, should be understood to be a bona fide spiritual master. So here, there are a few things that we will see today. One is actually the qualification of the spiritual master, and the second one is the the qualification of the disciple, and what a spiritual master is supposed to do, and what a disciple is supposed to do. It's very important. So here it is mentioning the qualities of a spiritual master. So anybody remembers that in the nectar of instruction, that Sri Rupa Goswami mentioned that how a spiritual master should be, or the qualities of a spiritual master who can actually have disciples all over the universe. Anybody remembers? Can you repeat? If anybody remembers, Hare Krishna. We went through that in great detail. I just want to check you're all listening. Hare Krishna.
Calm, equipoised.
Okay. The first 2 words of nectar of instruction, giving some clue. Anybody remembers? Vajo Vegam,
Vachuvegam.
Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jikhwa Vegam, Udara Upasta Vegam, Edan Vegan Jo Ho Vishaheda Dhira, Pritims Achirdi, Shishya. So as it's mentioned that Vajo Vegam, one who has to control his watch, his arches of speeches. Manasa Krodha, arches of anger. Manasa, urges of the mind, and urges of the belly. Vacho Begam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jihwa Vegam, urges of the tongue. Uttara Upasta Vegam. And he has to control his belly, control his genitals. Edan Vegan Jo Vitaheda Dhira. Yeah, Shaheda Dhira. That means one who is able to control this, and Prithvi, as Prithvi in the all the universe, he can have the disciples. So the basic principles Sri Goswami mentioned that one has to control his urges of speeches, anger, belly, tongue, genitals, and all. So he is eligible to have disciples. So this is the first and foremost quality of a disciple. The spiritual master. So here it is mentioned that even in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the qualification of the bona fide guru is that he has realized the conclusions of the scriptures. He has to understand the conclusions of the scriptures by deliberation, and is able to convince others of these conclusions. So he has seen the truth. So he has that knowledge. He has that transcendental knowledge, that he should have that transcendental knowledge by his study, austerity, and penance. Such a great personalities who have taken the shelter of the Supreme Godhead, leaving aside all material considerations, should be understood to be bona fide spiritual master. So, when somebody asks you this question, who is the bona fide spiritual master? So you should remember this, and you should have the conclusion of the Vedic scriptures, and you should be able to convince others about the transcendental subject matter. Then we come to this point. The Supreme Personality of Godhead himself affirms in Srimad Bhagavatam, one should take shelter of the bona fide spiritual master who is peaceful. So another aspect of the quality of a spiritual master, he should be peaceful. And as we know that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shojati na kamshati. So one who came to that stage of self-realized, Brahma Bhuta, or the Brahman realized, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shojati na kamshati. He does not lament, he does not have eagerness, hankering for another. Samaha Sarva Bhuteshu, he sees everybody equally, and he sees that the truth. And in the Bhagavatam also mentioned that Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogadaha, one who is peaceful. And in the Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, 29th verse, Krishna says that Bhuktaram Yagya Tabasa Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sugurdam Sarva Bhutanam Nyatva Ma Shanti Vrachet. Bhuktaram, one who knows by sober person, understanding this, I am the Lord of all the universe and benefactor of all the living entities. And the penance and the sacrifice, all that I am the benefactor of. So one who knows this attain the peace from the pangs of this material misery. So one who attains peace, so he understands the truth. Who is that? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the ever well-wisher of all the living entities and everything, and he is the benefactor of all living entities. So the true devotee, he understands all this, and he can be a spiritual master. So he peaceful, who knows the truth about me, that Krishna, truth about the Supreme Lord, and whose heart and the minds are fixed on me. That's why we know that when it comes to sannyasa, one who takes sannyasa diksha, he will have a danda. That's why, danda, that means he has a danda in his hand, right? It's a natural that sannyasi should have danda. Why this danda? Because many people ask this question, why sannyasi is holding a danda? Because of danda has three roads in it, right? When you take a sannyasa initiation, danda has three roads in, and that three roads ties together. These three roads are actually represented by the body, mind, and the words. BMW, always remember this. So a sannyasi, a pure devotee, those who are taken completely shelter of the Supreme Lord, he taken that vow. He always hold that danda in his hand, in his right hand. When he walks, when we do anything that he holds this danda. So that means with the mind, body, and the words, he would completely surrender to Krishna. He will always take the shelter of Krishna, always that remembrance with the body, mind, and the words. So, in order to remind that self realized soul and who had taken sannyasa, he holds this danda. And wherever he travels, he holds this danda because of this is the primary quality of a spiritual master with the body, mind, and fixed on Krishna. So, in the Mundaka Upanishad, it is mentioned to learn the transcendental subject matter, one must approach a spiritual master. In doing so, one should carry fuel to burn in sacrifice. That means we should have so much of eagerness. The symptom of such spiritual master is that he is expert in understanding the Vedic conclusion, and therefore he constantly engages in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes, it's very important, dear devotees, that we hear from the self-realized soul, hear from the spiritual master, because of they understand, they have conclude, they have the conclude, they have the understanding of the conclusion of the Vedas, right? Suppose, like we know that we sometimes we have some problems, some miseries, or some diseases. We know that there is a medicine available in the store, in a generic, store. But sometimes we go to a doctor and doctor will look at and diagnose you that what is your problem. Sometimes we assume that, okay, I have, okay, fine, but when it goes severe, and then we cannot, nobody can, save you. That time what we'll do, we go to doctor, we go to hospital and see a doctor. So when what happens, doctor will check you, doctor will diagnose you, and doctor will see and test and all those. Then he will understand that what is the problem that this sick person or that this disease person has it. So then he prescribes the medicine, right? So why? Because of he can do that, because of he studied, he has seen that many patients, he has experience, and he knows that what is the root problem. So then a doctor can suggest a specific medicine to the patient. So similarly, a spiritual master is like that. So we are all in this, like we can consider these are all this like a hospital wards, and we are all kind of various different kinds of patients with the different miseries. So when we go to a spiritual master can understand you what you are going through, and the spiritual master can tell you and advise you that, okay, you have to go through this way, you have to chant 16 rounds, or you have to specifically read this, or observe this egada, observe this vada, follow this specific particular, associate with this devotee. So spiritual master guides us in so many way. Sometimes we go wild with our devotional, but spiritual master knows that what is the best way to do that. So that's why our scriptures, Supreme Lord himself, and mention that one should approach a spiritual master because they have seen the truth. So they only can tell us that what is best for us. We may sometimes think, go here, 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 here. We approach some people, we talk to them, another person. Sometimes, we don't know what we are doing. We go to so many people. Oh, can you give me this? Can you give me, oh, why it is that, why it is? No, we should not do that. We should always approach the spiritual master, and spiritual master can guide us in a proper way, in a right direction, because he knows that what is the direction, he knows that what is the destination. So like that, in the Chandogya Upanishad also mentioned that one who approaches a bona fide spiritual master can understand everything about the spiritual realization. This is the right way. This is called Shruti. That means one who hear from the supreme authority, like from the spiritual master. Spiritual master has seen the truth, so he can impart this knowledge, this transcendental truth. That's what is Krishna says, that he can impart this knowledge. That's the pranipatena. the spiritual master can impart this knowledge to us. So it's very important that we understand these facts. So like that, the qualities of a spiritual master is mentioned that, and Supreme Lord says that one should always remain in the shelter of a spiritual master, always in the shelter of spiritual master. That's why when one takes the initiation, he would consult everything with the spiritual master. If the spiritual master is not available, his instructions are available there. And if the instructions are also not available, then one should approach the devotees who are actually can speak the same word spiritual master, because of the scriptural references is that there, that sadhu, shastra, and guru speak the same truth always. Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. Here, Sadhu is referring as the devotees of the Lord, right? Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru speak the same truth. So, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme Lord says, and this is the personified Vedas. So, there is a beautiful glorification of the personified Vedas, glorifying the Supreme Lord. And the Vedas conclude this: O unborn Supreme Personality of Godhead, they who leave the shelter of their spiritual master's lotus feet and, holding back the senses and the breath, struggle to control the wild horse of the mind, meet with 100 calamities. They are like merchants trying to sail on the ocean in a boat without a captain. So, like we know that dead bodies, right? So when I saw that, my dead body, I was, living in a very nearby a river, very Pamba, very sacred river. Sometimes, we see that the dead bodies, so no control. Dead bodies are just floating on the water. Whatever the direction of the current or the direction of the water, it goes. And it goes, sometimes comes to the shore, sometimes comes to the near to the place, and sometimes in a deep, swallows to that, goes through the water, like anything which is, floated. I mean, because they don't have any control of it. So like that, if one who is not connected to the devotee, to the spiritual master, guru, and the scriptures and the Lord, they are lost in this world. So it's like that, a dead elephant or a dead animal floating on the water. Similarly, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur very strongly comment this one who is not chanting the holy name is like a dead body. It's mentioned that, that when you go to a blacksmith place, there is a bellow, right? And then it breathes in and out. So similarly, like that, even though he has the soul, the spirit, the sacred soul within that, the part of the Supreme Lord within himself, in a body of a human, the Supreme Lord himself sitting there, he does not understand the value of it. And he just simply breathes in and out. It's like a dead body. Bhaktivinoda Thakur so very beautifully mentioned this. So it's mentioned that he is like, it's like a dead body. Yeah. Unborn Supreme Personality of Godhead, they who leave the shelter of the spiritual master lotus feet and hold him back, the senses and the breath struggles to control the wild horse of the mind, meet with 100 calamities. They are like merchants trying to sail on the ocean of a boat without a captain. And then similarly, there is a Kadaupadesha that is mentioned that, oh dear one, spiritual truth cannot be understood by material logic. See, as I mentioned in the beginning, it cannot understand the spiritual truth by in any way that okay, this stone is there. That we worship the stone because of there is Lord. So these mundane people there, this is just a stone. But the spiritual devotee can understand this is not an ordinary stone. This is the manifestation of the Supreme Lord in the form of a stone, and Lord is there to receive the service from each and every devotee. This can be seen and realized and understand only by the mercy of the spiritual master or mercy of the devotee. So like that, this material logic cannot explain this transcendental truth, because of the transcendental or transcendental science is entirely opposite to the material science. One has to connect. Like just for an example, there is a powerhouse. In an electric powerhouse, a storehouse. So unless and until we get that electricity from the powerhouse or transistors, and we will not get any current or a power. And the light, even if you put, and how much you wired in your home, whatever the wire, you maybe put thousands of wires in your home, in so many places, so many rooms, but if there is no power, there is no electric current, and this useless, it does not connect, it's not light the lamp, You did not get the light. So then where these wires are connected, and in all our switches, all our plugs are connected to the main transformer, main powerhouse. So from that main powerhouse, then power comes to our home. So similarly, the main powerhouse from the Supreme Lord, that spiritual potency comes to the spiritual master, devotees, and sadhus. And unless and until we connect to that sadhu, we will not get that the potency of like that how the electric wire is connected to the main line. Then we get it. So similarly, we have to connect ourselves with the devotees, spiritual master, and the Lord. Then we get that the potency. Otherwise, we will not attain or will not get that the potency. So it's very, very important that we understand this fact. So then the qualities of the spiritual master we are continuing is mentioned that a genuine spiritual master is saintly, born in a pure family, diligent in performing his prescribed duties, a follower of Varnasrama Dharma, devoid of anger, as mentioned that Vajo Vegam, Manasa Krodho Vegam, learned in the Vedas. Conclusion here should be understood the conclusion of the Vedas and scriptures. And this is mentioned that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, also quotes from the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is mentioned like this. It says, Tasmat Gurum Prabhadhyeda Jignusha Shreyum Uttamam Shabde Parecha Nishtaram Brahmani Ubam Asrayam. It's mentioned that the translation like this. Therefore, any person who seriously desires real happiness must seek a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. The qualification of the bona fide guru is that he has realized the conclusions of the scriptures by deliberation and is able to convince others of these conclusions. Such a great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead, leaving aside all material considerations, should be understood to be bona fide spiritual master. So there are various references in our scriptures, dear devotees, especially Srimad Bhagavatam and all the Upanishad, about so it is yeah so it is mentioned that so there are so many so this spiritual master should be faithful, free from envy, a pleasing speaker in various scriptures only, pleasing to the eye, pure, well-dressed, young, a person who works for the welfare of all living beings, intelligent, humble at the heart, perfect, non-violent, thoughtful, virtuous, intent on worshipping the Lord, grateful, affectionate to his disciples, capable of both punishment and mercy, devoted to the Supreme Lord, devoted to the mantras and the yajnas, examining all sides of an issue, pure at heart and merciful. A genuine spiritual master has these and many other virtues. He's a treasure house of virtues. See the quality of a spiritual master, a pure devotee. In the Srimad Bhagavad Gita is also mentioning there are 26 qualities of a devotee, and that is also included in the spiritual master, devotee who can give the initiation because of he is devoted to the Supreme Lord. So there is a book called Agastya Samhita, which is mentioned that a genuine. This we are just speaking about the quality of a spiritual master. Why? Because of we can see that who is the genuine spiritual master. Many devotees are out there. If you want to take it, the initiation from a spiritual master, we should see that the quality of the spiritual master. It's very, very important. A genuine spiritual master is a worshipper of the Supreme Personality of God. This is the primary and the foremost quality of a spiritual master. He is a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is peaceful, free from material desires, aware of the spiritual truth, a teacher of the spiritual truth. See that? Why? Teacher of the spiritual truth. That means he has seen the truth. Learned in the Vedas and the scriptures, able to deliver others, able to surmount obstacles, the best of the Brahmanas, expert in yantras and the mantras, one who goes to the heart of the matter, aware of the secrets of the spiritual philosophy, a performer of uh, Pura Archana, expert at chanting mantras and yajnas, aware of what is needed, austere and truthful. These are the qualities of a household spiritual master. So there are various spiritual master can be. So this Agastya Samhita is revealing like this. So likes that, which gives us so many wonderful, uh, qualities of spiritual master. Why it is I'm referring? Because of it's very important to understand. So when we Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned that one should accept a spiritual master, we should know that who is spiritual master, who is a guru. Many times this question asked. So then it's mentioned that in the Vishnu Samhita says, a person who is greedy to get worship, praise, and money from his disciples are are not a true spiritual master. A true spiritual master is an ocean of mercy, right? We heard the book, Srila Bhakticharya Maharaj books, the ocean of mercy. The whom the Srila Bhakticharya Maharaj is referring to? Srila Prabhupada, ocean of mercy. So spiritual master is always an ocean of mercy. Perfect. A person who does good to everyone. They always do good to everyone. And I was mentioning this other day. One time Srila Prabhupada was walking on the Mumbai with the disciples. And then one very poor lady with a small child on her lap, and then holding the child, and then approached Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada put his hands in the pocket and brought out whatever hold it, the rupees and the monies and the coins, everything, and took out from the in the pocket and gave it to her. And everybody was astonished. See, look at that, the nature, compassionate nature of a spiritual master. It's an ocean of mercy. He do a good to everyone, free of all material desires, and completely perfect, learned in all knowledge, able to cut apart all doubts, and not lazy. And this is another, their spiritual master devotees are not lazy. They always utilize time properly, as Srila Prabhupada says that utilize is the principle. So in Narada Panjaratra, Supreme Personality of Godhead also explained, of the best of the Brahmanas, a spiritual master should be an exalted Brahmana who knows everything at all times and who is merciful to everyone. So Brahmanas are very big, those real Brahmanas. And we know that in the previous class we saw that who is that? A Vaishnava is naturally a Brahmana. A Vaishnava devotee is by default a Brahmana. He is the dear devotee of the Supreme Lord. And in the Padma Purana, we also mention a Brahmana who is a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the spiritual master of all human beings. Everyone should worship him as he were Lord Krishna himself. The Padma Purana says, because of a Vaishnava devotee, he is not an ordinary human being. By chanting a mantra given by a spiritual master who is not a devotee of the Lord, then this is on the other side of it. By chanting a mantra given by a spiritual master, he is not a devotee of the Lord Vishnu, one goes to hell. Such a disciple should be initiated again, this time by a spiritual master who is a devotee of the Lord Vishnu. So it's very important that whom we are taking the Diksha, whom we are taking the mantra, is not a devotee of the Lord, he is just an impostor. Many people have a fashion that, okay, let me go and take Diksha. So I get the name, and many people come and approach us. Can I get a Diksha from this person, this person? Can I get? They may not be even connected. They may not be in a genuine, line of lineage of Parambara. It's very important that. So, Evam Parambara Praptam. Krishna is also revealing that Evam Parambara, we should be connected to a bona fide Sampradaya. There are only 4 bona fide Sampradayas right now, right? Brahma Madhava. We are one of it. That's a Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. There are Sri Sampradaya, there is Rudra Sampradaya, and then there is Kumara Sampradaya. 4 Sampradayas are out there. So we are part of Brahma Madhava Gaudiya. So one should be with a very bona fide Sampradaya in order to attain this Diksha from the very bona fide, qualified spiritual master. So then a person who has accepted initiation in the worship of the Lord Vishnu and who is devoted to the worship of Lord Vishnu is called a devotee. See, then there is a who is called devotee because of a person who has accepted initiation of the worship of Lord Vishnu. Then who is devoted to the worship of Lord Vishnu is called a devotee of the Lord Vishnu. By the wise, one who is not like him is not a devotee of Lord Vishnu. So devotee must be, and spiritual master guru must be always devoted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the primary and the foremost quality of the spiritual master. Okay, I think I would stop here. And then the next one is the qualities of a genuine disciple. It's a very beautiful topic, dear devotees. I think it's already 8 o'clock or past. So I should, yeah, it's 8:04. Let me stop here, and then we will continue this on the further classes in coming classes. Okay. So thank you so much for being there and listening to me. Um, sorry, all there. Just wanted to check. Hare Krishna. Okay, great. Okay. So
Yes.
thank you so much being there. Hare Krishna. Go ahead, Mataji.
No, nothing. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Anything anybody would like to add? Any other comments, concerns, questions? Jai. Anjana Mataji ki jai. How are you feeling, Mataji?
Hare
Better?
Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, better now. Voice is open. I'm able to speak.
Everybody else. Yeah.
It's very scary. Never
Yeah,
had this before.
yeah. Sure.
Yes, Prabhuji, I was trying to think of the qualities. I remember I attended that online class in the beginning, but I was mixing like qualities of the devotees or the quality of the spiritual
Spiritual
master.
master. Yeah.
So I was mixing both of those classes when I started this summer in the beginning.
So it's clear now, right? What should be the quality?
Yes, Prabhuji.
It's just we touched upon these qualities of the spiritual master. We'll continue that qualities of the disciple and what a disciple is supposed to do.
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Is anybody else? Any comments? Any other questions? That should be, should be interactive. You can ask, you can refer, you can comment. Anything that you would like to add? Please go ahead. So this is a very, very important aspect they mentioned this, the nectar of devotion. So when you say that, accepting a spiritual master means we should be very careful and very important, to understand that spiritual master. And it is mentioned that one should not just simply go and accept anybody, that whom we like. Liking is, yes, that's one part of it, but we should study and examine the spiritual master. Okay. Anybody else? Any other devotees would like to comment? Suman Madaji, Pratibha Madaji, Dagar Prabhu, Rahul Prabhu, yeah, Sachirani Madaji there.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam or Guru
Good
Srila.
Pranam or Guru Srila.
Yes, Prabhuji, very nice class, Prabhuji. So much informative. Means
Yeah,
it is such a detailed study about everything, It gives us so much knowledge. Each and every pages.
of course, yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Of course.
Thank you,
This is-
Prabhuji, for all because of you, all senior devotees, we can learn more and more every day, Prabhuji. It was not possible if you all have devoted so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's a very and we should learn, we should study, and we should hear this. It's a beautiful topic. It goes beyond our this day-to-day material concepts of the life. And it goes beyond that. It takes us to that the next level of the devotion, and it's really works as well. When we understand and completely absorbs this, and it helps us to move further and progress further.
Yes, Prabhuji. And what I have learned today is the spiritual master, he will come under the first class devotee, no, Prabhuji? First class
Yes,
devotee.
first class.
First
Yeah,
class.
Samadhi.
Yes. Thank you,
That's why
Prabhuji.
he's free from his motion of mercy. He's compassionate. He's pure in his heart.
Yes,
He studied his, he knows the truth, and he always devoted to the Krishna, and he sees that, he can see that a spiritual master keeps seeing that a person approaches him, a person, okay, for initiation, and he can see that what can do. Because if he can see that where this devotee or where the disciple stands, so easily he can then guide and direct and all those things. Yes, spiritual mastery is on the pure devotional platform.
Yes, Prabhuji. And you said about the liking of the Guru Maharaj and choosing one Guru Maharaj. So, the only one Guru Maharaj means only one spiritual master will take us to the back to Godhead, no, Prabhuji? Or not all the spiritual master will take us, no, Prabhuji? Like,
Okay, good question. Wonderful question. Yes. So this is the way that we can understand. See, Guru means Guru Tattva. So we should see that in a higher perspective of it. Guru Tattva is, originally comes from the Lord Balaram, because of Krishna is so merciful in such a way that Krishna manifested in the form of the Lord Balaram in order to retrieve, in order to retain everybody back to the abode of the Lord Vishnu. So then, Lord Balaram manifests in various ways, like that. Especially, there is a Diksha Guru, that's the one who gives the Diksha, and then we serve that Guru, and then we approach and serve, and all of that. Yes, of course, that Guru is there. And then also there is Shiksha Gurus, right? One who gives Shiksha, right? So by the process of then this, all the Gurus, Shiksha Guru, either Diksha Guru or Pada Pradakshina Guru, or likes the Chaitya Guru, or all this comes under this Guru Tattva. So basically, suppose in the beginning, and see that we just started in the Krishna consciousness. So there must be some devotee, some senior disciple, some senior devotee. You have not taken a Diksha, but you are following under that devotee some guidance, right? So that may be a Shiksha Guru. So and you have not completed the Diksha, you are not taken Diksha. So what would happen to this disciple, or this devotee that who was following a Shiksha Guru? Whether he will attain the spiritual abode or not, or whether he will attain, abode or attain the lotus feet of Krishna, or he will develop that. It's mentioned that in the scripture, when he sincerely followed that devotee and the Shiksha Guru, you are not taken a Diksha. And but you are hearing and all those things. But he was sincerely taken the Diksha and Shiksha, and you followed it, and you are eligible to attain the spiritual abode. See that? So likes that, yes, then by the mercy of the Lord, then if we need further, then we go to a very, more in order to, why Diksha is because of, then in order to strengthen or intensify our devotion, right? Intensify in such a way that we are completely devoted and completely dedicated. So that way, then we get a Diksha Guru. So when we get a Diksha Guru, then what happens? Yes, Diksha Guru, we go with the directions of Diksha Guru. And one who gives the mantra, right? That mantra will help us to overcome this material ocean. On the other hand, the Shiksha Guru may not give a mantra, but we know that in our ISKCON, International Society of Krishna called Hare Krishna, the mantra is already out there, right? So it's not that Diksha Guru should give this mantra only, that then only he will attain the spiritual abode. Because we consider that Srila Prabhupada is our grandfather. Srila Prabhupada is so merciful. You know that there is one story. Let me tell you that story. Ramanujacharya, spiritual master known as Yamunacharya. Yamunacharya, then he was, Ramanujacharya was the foremost disciple of Yamunacharya. Yamunacharya gave a mantra to Ramanujacharya. So then what happened? And told to Ramanujacharya, this should not be disclosed to anyone. They should not be disclosed to anybody, because of this is a mantra in such a way that whoever chants, they will all attain the spiritual abode. Then Ramanujacharya was chanting this mantra, and he becomes so pure and purified, and then becomes so compassionate, so ocean of mercy, so much purity, so much of. One day Ramanujacharya decided that I should give this mantra to everybody. Because of this mantra can deliver me, then just by this mantra, thousands of people, those who are suffering this material ocean, can deliver themselves just by this mantra. One day, Srimad Ramanujacharya went on the top of this rooftop and then called out to everybody, come on, everybody, come on, come on, come on. Then loudly, and take this mantra with you, loudly chanted this mantra, and everybody absorbed that mantra. And it is mentioned that out of that, people joined there at that spot. There are around 82 people became the disciple of Sri Ramanujacharya, and they become completely delivered. So here there is no Diksha Guru, but this Guru, this Ramanacharya, this devotee, so compassionate to other living entities. He came on top, climbed on the rooftop, and started to announce this mantra that you gave to everyone because he is ocean of mercy. Then Yamunacharya heard this, and it was then breaking the law, right? So the Yamunacharya came and called Sri Ramanacharya and mentioned, "You have disobeyed my spiritual master. You will go to hell." Ramanujacharya mentioned that. Ramanujacharya mentioned the spiritual master, "Oh, my guru, oh, my spiritual master. Yes, I understand, I know that. But if one goes to hell, but thousands of people goes to the spiritual abode, what is better? If I go to hell, I don't mind." Yamunacharya becomes so pleased with that, and Yamunacharya just relieved, okay, you are the perfect guru. You can be a perfect guru in this world, and blessed Ramanujacharya. And then similarly, the devotees are so merciful. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and told to Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu, "Jare deko tare kaho Krishna Upadesh," was so merciful. We Patita Pavana. This is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are the sincere followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Brahma Madhava Gaudiya. We are Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's followers. So what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Jare deko tare kaho Krishna. Whomever you meet, talk about Krishna. What is mean talk about Krishna means then he will get an opportunity to deliver himself from this material world. So to come to your question, Madaji, that yes, then Srila Prabhupada, gave out, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this mantra. Nityananda Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, every devotee, those are ocean of mercy, delivered this mantra out to this world. Chant Hare Krishna, Param Vijay De Sri Krishna. Just by chanting that Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So because of the Srila Prabhupada gave this to everyone. Srila Prabhupada is our grandfather. Sometimes it's mentioned that the father, the spiritual master is considered as father, and then Srila Prabhupada is considered as grandfather. It's mentioned that grandfather is more merciful than father. That means spiritual master. So even one who takes shelter of Srila Prabhupada, not necessarily a Diksha Guru, shelter of a pure devotee, genuine devotee, he can attain the supreme abode. To answer your question, Madaji?
Yes, Prabhuji, Haribol, very nice example, Prabhuji. Really, it was very nice.
Thank you
Prabhuji,
so
one
much.
more question that
Yes, please.
while chanting, Prabhuji,
Yeah.
while chanting, how to, sorry, Prabhuji.
No
Prabhuji,
problem.
my question is how to do intensive chanting, means not the regular chanting, Prabhuji. Chanting is okay, fine, we are doing every day, but I want some intense chanting. So how to do, Prabhuji? How to elevate in this, Prabhuji?
Very good question. Yes. Very important, and it's mentioned that we have to prepare in order to come to the. Sometimes what happens, we whimsically do. That means chanting. Okay, I have to chant 16 or let me chant. We do something in between chant. This is all regular chanting. That is not those so intensified or so what is called intense. So in order to do that, we should very much prepare for it. We should have eagerness for it. We should understand that knowledge is the base, right? Books are the so knowledge. I need to chant, so I need to prepare for it. So I like that. Okay, tomorrow morning I need to chant very sincerely, attentively, and very intense. And how should we should prepare today itself? Should prepare our mind, and best way that if possible, that take a bath in the morning. So I'm going to chant sit very closer to either Tulasi Devi or in front of spiritual master or in a very very good and very sacred place in for the altar or sometimes, and then seek the mercy, beg the mercy first, right? Don't just jump into the chanting. Beg the mercy of the spiritual master. If you don't have a spiritual master, beg the mercy of the Srila Prabhupada. Okay, oh Srila Prabhupada, please. And then also we beg the mercy of Sri Tulasi Maharani. We chant that mantra, Vrindaya Tulasi Devyaya. We pray to the Tulasi Maharani, please help me to chant. We pray to Srila spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada, please help me to chant. Please shower the mercy upon me. Then we also chant, we pray to the Lord Narasimha, protect from all these unwanted things comes to our mind. So this way we prepare. And then we come to that chanting. Now chanting must be like your mind should be very focused. Our senses, nothing, no other thought should not allow to come to mind, right? No other thought should not allow to come to the mind. And then we should completely focus on the chanting of the mantra, the beats. And sometimes we think that, okay, I need to chant this entire round, okay, 100, I need. No, we should focus only on that mantra. We'll focus only on that chanting, one round, one chant mantra, one mantra, only on focus on that. Similarly, we just continue with that. Always we should focus on that mantra. Then also, sometimes mind goes here and there. So that time also we can focus our mind. Initially, Srila Prabhupada recommends that one can focus on the Supreme Lord, the divine couple. We can focus on the divine couple with the mind if the mind goes further. And then also we can hear, with our hear the chanting, that's by sound vibration. And this is the way that we can go more and more focused to chanting every day. So we should be prepared for it. And this is not an ordinary, because we should have that understanding. I have an appointment with my Supreme Lord Sri Krishna today. Think about that. You assume that you get an opportunity to meet with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, or you have an appointment to meet with Joe Biden, the US President, or you have an appointment to meet with somebody you are so much admire and so much of love, So what do you think? How do you feel? You do everything possible. You'd get up in the morning, you prepare, and you do everything. You drive, you go to the 1,000 miles if you want, no matter, you can spend the money, anything, only just to meet that person or just have a talk of that person. You do everything. You have so much of focus. Now everything, all house is working for that. Maybe your friends, families, everybody. Okay, let me also come with you. I'm going to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi. What do you feel? How do you think that? So think
Very much
about it.
excited, yes.
Very much excited, very much focused. Similarly, think about that. I'm going to meet my Lord, my Supreme Lord. Will you not do anything for them? Similarly, we have to prepare accordingly. That's what is mentioned, that we should prepare accordingly, that I'm going to meet my Lord. So then it's, when we do that, because we have to have that in our heart. I'm going to meet my Lord, Supreme Lord. So I should be prepared accordingly, and then I should go for it. And then, put that all efforts. That's why we don't even put our efforts. You know what Einstein said? Ordinary human being actually only utilizes his 5% of his brain, or 5% of anything that which does not put anything that which, because of there are so many material influences, it's haunting us. He does not come to that. And a very IQ, very intelligent person put only 20%. But 80% are out there, our capability, our endeavor, our focus, our very, focused mind and our energy, everything is out there. We are not utilizing it. Why? Because of we're completely devoured and captured by these worldly things. Then it won't come to that. So that's why my Guru Maharaj, his Holiness Loknath Maharaj, says that it mentioned that the quality of our chanting depends on what activities we perform on our day-to-day basis, on daily basis. See that? We are so much indulged in watching movie, or these documentaries or YouTubes, and always diverted these worldly things. Okay, what happened to the test match or the World Cup, or where is our mind? So this is the way we trained our mind every day. Okay, let me taste this one, let me go to that hotel, let me do this one, let me focus on this one, let me make this, let me do that, mind is always wandering for this. This is the way we trained us, and wow, it's very difficult. That's why Krishna says very difficult to overcome that. But abhyasa yoga yuktena vairagyena, practice and detachment. Abhyasa yoga yuktena vairagyena priyate. By detachment from these all worldly material things that which pollutes our minds, rather we focus reading, chanting and hearing and talking about Krishna Gada, talking with the devotees and discussing, and all so many things. This way, we can bring our mind slowly to the very focus. That's why, Shankaracharya says that satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan. Satsang. So we should always aspire for satsang. Very important. Then we get that nisangatvam. Nisangatvam means that, detachment. Nisangate nirmohatvam. Then we are free from all this illusionary material world. Then nirmohatve, then we can steady our mind. Nischalaka, we can steady. Then we can practice that. That's called nishta, right? Where that stage in the nine process of bhakti, not nine stages of those shraddha, sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anarthana. When anarthana vrutti goes, then we come to that real stage of nishta. Then steady mind, focused, attentive, then naturally comes that. So we have to put our energy. So we have to put anarthanavritti. How we can come to anarthanavritti? Yes, this is the stage, right? Well, practice, abhyasa and vairagya, right? Detachment and practice. Then we have, chanting of the holy name. Yes, actually it's not that. Anyway, everybody is like that, Maharaj. It's not that easy that to come to that stage. But we should practice for that. Every day we should practice. We should have that achiever for it. Should have our efforts for it, in order to come to that stage. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Please bless me.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay. Jai. Okay, anything else? Anybody else? Okay, so let's conclude today's class. Thank you so much, dear devotees. Let's pray together. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Gangaraja Jai. Shri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananda Gauri Vaishnava ki Jai.
Jai.
Gauri Premanande.
Hari Hari Hari.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.